Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, Jay-Z Courtside, coming at y'all live on Friday, January 16th, my lovely fiance's birthday. I want to say happy Frisky Friday to everyone who celebrates. We made it another week and another unbelievable night of NBA basketball, y'all. I gotta say, immediately, today's episode is going to be a good one. Listen, I gotta be honest with everybody who listens and watches, though. These episodes this week have been way too long. I'm telling y'all, today's got to be shorter. I'm not saying it's got to be like 20 minutes, but I think somewhere between the 30 and 50-minute mark would be ideal. There's no reason I'm doing longer podcasts than groups of 4 or 5 people that can bounce their topics to another. I am bouncing topics off of myself and the live crew. So there's no reason. If you guys listen to any podcast around the world, if they are 4 or 5 people and they are getting under an hour, they just don't care about you. I got to be real. I just got to be real because I am drilling easily without even dragging these episodes over an hour. Almost all week has been over an hour. It's crazy. Now, I do got to say, podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. My dog right now is snoring and squeaking in his sleep. He's just laying right next to me. And I got to say, TikTok, if y'all guys are enjoying the stream, be sure to keep double tapping that screen. It really helps a lot. YouTube, be sure to drop a like and sub. And Twitch chat, all y'all got to do, I ask you guys of one thing, okay? Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Today, we are going to be talking briefly about a couple of the big teams. I've noticed that I really don't talk about big markets a whole lot. I mainly focus on the mid to small market teams. So today, we're going to try to focus on the big markets, okay? That's our main focus of today's podcast, all right? Now, we had a lot of games last night, but I think the one that we have to start off with is the Los Angeles Lakers losing. Oh, in fact, I pressed the wrong lower third button because I'm an idiot. We're going to be doing something called Winners and Losers of the Week. And I'm sure if you guys have been listening for more than a couple of weeks, you guys are used to this, right? I have 3 teams. I wasn't going to do it today, but I decided I'm going to end up doing it, right? I told y'all, normally we start with Winners of the Week. But today is just way too juicy. I got to get into the losers. I got to get straight into the losers. And we're going to start off with the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers. And each of these losers, I'm going to start off with a stat that everybody should hear. And it's a very simple stat. It's not like some advanced metric BS that you guys are going to just No, it's a very interesting and it's should be a known stat. Just so you guys don't think I'm crazy. I clicked the wrong button again. Thank you everybody who is watching in the Twitch chat. Where would I be without y'all? The losers of the week, the Los Angeles Lakers. They're not just loser of the week. In fact, they're losers of their last 2 weeks. I've been talking about them briefly here and there, but the Lakers have now lost 4 out of their last 5 basketball games. 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. And that is something that you guys need to not just look at. You guys should look at it seriously, because this is becoming less of a joke and more of something that's more telling than Lakers fans care to admit. Their one win is against a play-in team. They beat a play-in team in the Atlanta Hawks. Okay? They beat a play-in team. They lost to a non-play-in team in the Hornets, which we'll talk about later on in this episode. Love the Hornets. They lost to one of the worst teams in the NBA, the Sacramento Queens. They lost to arguably one of the worst teams in the NBA as well, in the Milwaukee Bucks. And they lost to the San Antonio Spurs. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers are a very interesting team. You know why? Because every single stat tells you that this team is ass. Every single stat. Every single stat about this team tells you they're ass. For everybody watching the stream, you guys know I showed y'all these stats on StatMuse yesterday when we were talking about whether teams are pretenders or contenders. Watch that episode if you missed it. And there's something that was telling about all those teams, like the Thunder, like the Pistons, where we were talking about, are they a pretender or a contender? Do you guys notice the difference in their graph versus the Thunder's graph or the Pistons graph. Here's the thing. The Thunder and Pistons graphs are all green. They're all green. They are all green. But the Lakers are all red. And I love this stat that my Bulls fan Moose just said in the Twitch chat. They're the only non-play-in team with a negative point differential. For my people who don't know what that means, they are losing more than they're winning. They are scoring less points than their opposition. And yet somehow they're still in the playoffs. That thing is not green. We're looking at this team, and I'm telling you guys, and I've been telling you guys, that this team is not serious. They allow the third most buckets scored. They allow the fourth most three-pointers scored. They allow the most turnovers. They allow the least amount of assists. They're in the bottom 4 teams at rebounding, bottom 8 in assists. They are the second worst team at block shots. They are the second lowest scoring team from the field and the 7th worst three-point shooting team in the NBA. They also allow career nights from a lot of players. So when I tell you guys, Austin Reeves is not enough for this team, I'm sure you're going to get the little jolt of energy that every team gets when they're missing a player. I'm sure of it. But when you look at this team, it's quite obvious that they're not serious. They're putting on a show. LeBron is the show. And Luka Doncic is the main act. And that is how this season is going to continue. If this team gets into the playoffs and gets swept, I will not be surprised. And the main reason being is because they can't guard a traffic cone. They allowed the Charlotte Hornets, whom I love the Charlotte Hornets, to score 40 points in a quarter. Not just that, they allowed LaMelo Ball to look like, arguably, if you showed this game to a casual fan, they might think LaMelo Ball is the greatest basketball player of all time. I'm getting told right now in the TikTok stream, ladies and gents, that you don't know ball. I don't know ball, but every single statistic shows that they are a bottom team in the NBA. Every single advanced metric shows you that they got lucky to be a top 6 seed in the East right now. They walked right into that thing. The only category that they lead in the league is free throws. Now, I'm getting told from the TikTok, you're a stat watcher. You don't watch the games. I got you. I don't lose sleep every night to stay up for these games as an East Coast player to get called a stat watcher. It's quite obvious watching the Los Angeles Lakers that they have some of the worst energy than any team in the NBA. The Lakers are not a contender. They are indeed a pretender. They're the reason I didn't even include them on the list yesterday when I was talking about pretenders versus contenders. This team, I don't see them virtually beating a single series in the playoffs this year. They have no defense. Immediately, no defense. I've been calling them overrated all year. Numbers do not lie. And when I'm watching this team, they genuinely look like a play-in team at best. They can't beat the Thunder. They can't beat the Spurs. The only team I could see them beating are the Spurs because they don't have experience, but they're a horrible basketball team. They're not beating the Nuggets. They're not beating the Wolves. They're not beating the Rockets. They're not beating the Suns. They'll probably beat the Warriors because they have nothing. Okay? DeAndre Ayton is not the center they needed. They needed a rim running, block shot, alley-oop catching center. They need it. Now, I don't want to talk about LaMelo because right now we are discussing the losers of the week, right? And the Lakers have their losers of the last 2 weeks. There's no defense. Luka Doncic turns the ball over like more than a player that I've ever seen, and I'm a Pistons fan, and Kate throws that thing around like it's nothing. You know what I mean? The Los Angeles Lakers right now and their fans are somewhat in denial because they're seeing how much their team, like how many viewers they can bring in, when in all actuality, they've lost 4 out of their 5 games, and they have been arguably one of the worst basketball teams since Christmas. The Lakers can't guard anybody. They don't want to guard anybody. The Lakers prove that they don't play any defense. Our one goal is to outscore you. And when you allow a team in the Charlotte Hornets to shoot 46% from the field, it's not going to work out. I'm curious, how many points did they score in the paint? 56. 56. Sorry, they allowed the Hornets to score 54%. They allowed the Hornets to shoot 54% from the field. The Charlotte Hornets, they allowed the Hornets 54% from the field and 47% from three. They also managed to score 56 points in the paint. Now, I've been showing everybody that good teams, great teams, expose teams that have major flaws. Okay? Major flaws. And the Pistons got exposed by the Boston Celtics in the second matchup. I think we lost the second matchup against the Boston Celtics. They were attacking Duncan Robinson and zoning us on a team that at that point in time were not shooting well. The Pistons, the reason I bring this up, showed the entire NBA how to absolutely embarrass the Los Angeles Lakers. And it's just pound the paint. Pound the paint. They don't want contact. They don't want to touch you. Pound the paint. The Pistons scored 80 points in the paint against the Los Angeles Lakers. I have to repeat that one more time. The Detroit Pistons scored 80 points in the paint against the Los Angeles Lakers. It wasn't just Duren. It was Duren. It was Stu. It was Cade. It was Duncan Robinson. Everybody was taking them into the paint because they have no will to touch any player. That is the Los Angeles Lakers scheme. That is the Los Angeles motive. Let's just score. Let's just score. Let's just jack up a three every other possession, even though we shoot one of the worst percentages in the NBA. And let's just not play any defense. Hopefully we can beat them by just scoring. Gabe Vincent shot a whopping 0 for 7 last night. Kobe Buffkin got minutes, 0 for 2. This team is genuinely a pain to watch. And I got to be honest, y'all. I got to be honest. Watching Luka Doncic, I don't know what's worse. I don't know what's worse. Watching Luka Doncic or watching my team be bad for 18 years. Because if Luka Doncic was on my basketball team, I might have to switch basketball teams. I'm not exaggerating. I mean that. I mean that wholly. If Luka Doncic was on my basketball team, I don't think I'd be a fan. That's not to discredit his skill. He's an incredible talent. He's a top 5 talent in the entire world at basketball. At the sport of basketball, Luka Doncic is arguably one of the greatest scorers ever. It's everything else that makes me feel dirty. Do you guys know, like, the feeling I'm talking about? Just feeling dirty, like not feeling good. You know, like when you eat McDonald's and my God, is that delicious while it's sliding down your gullet. But then just after you realize, my God, what did I eat? Why did I do that? What's wrong with me? That's what watching Luka Doncic play basketball feels like for me. Because while it's cool that he hits these step back 40-footers, it doesn't cancel out the technical fouls because he's complaining to the refs. The constant whining, the constant moaning, the constant, hey, the constant flinching, the constant screaming, the constant complaining, the constant head bobbing. He is a horrible watch. Yeah, I don't remember it being this bad. I don't remember it being this bad. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. But I hate watching Lakers games. I hate it. I genuinely hate watching Lakers games because of Luka. I swear to God, I swear on everything, Luka was not like this 2 years ago. When he went to the finals, was he like this? I can't imagine it. I was rooting for the Mavs 2 years ago. I loved their run. But it wasn't like this, man. And I hate the Shea stuff. I hate the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's a foul merchant. Shea Gilgeous, I hate it. I hate it. Shea is a great two-way player. He's great defensively. He's great offensively. He's great at everything. Luka's one goal in every possession is just to get free throws. That's his one goal. And when is anybody going to realize that? If you hear somebody from here on out say that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a foul merchant or he's a foul baiter, just automatically assume that they also have the same opinion that Isaiah Stewart just gets in fights and doesn't play basketball when he's also the best defender in the NBA. I didn't say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a great defender, but he's a serviceable defender. He's a good defender. He tries. If somebody tells you that Shai's a foul baiter, ask them their opinion on Luka Doncic. Ask them. And if they condone what Luka does, they don't know ball. They don't know ball. They do not know ball whatsoever. Okay? Yes, TikTok, I have to answer that comment. Isaiah Stewart just won Eastern Conference Player of the Month, Defensive Player of the Month, and he leads the league in blocks. Yeah, Isaiah Stewart is like that. Isaiah Stewart is like that. TikTok, I see a lot of people saying some really valuable comments like Blouse, like Cam, like Molly, like Thomas, like Merck, like 415, Tyler, Thunder. All of you goats in the TikTok, I see a lot of you guys talking. Your messages, the chat is this big on TikTok. Here, let me just show y'all real quick. Let me show y'all. So this is my TikTok chat on that screen there. Tiny. I only see one message at a time. This is my Twitch chat. So if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure you guys swing right on into the Twitch stream. It's a much better experience over here. I actually read all your comments over here on Twitch. As long as you're talking on topic and speaking about what we're speaking about, I read all the messages and sometimes I even shout them out. So if you guys are enjoying the stream, the Twitch stream is Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. If you don't know how to spell Jay-Z Uncut, the link is in my bio. There's 150 of y'all over there. I would love to see you guys swing on into the Twitch and join my basketball community. We stay away from the toxicity that TikTok has, that Twitter has, and we talk pure hoops. We're actually trying to collect a fan from every single fan base, and we're still missing a lot of fans from a lot of different fan bases. So I'd love to see you guys come through to the Twitch. If you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription out of my own pocket, just as an investment to prove that I'm committed to you. Okay? So if you guys do come to the Twitch, that's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. The moment you guys do come to the Twitch, if you watch for 3 streams in a row and join the Discord, I will gift you a $5 subscription out of my own pocket. Okay, I'd like to give some special shout outs real quick to Dr. Allstate, Mello, and Eski. Thank you guys so much for the follows on Twitch. I appreciate y'all very, very much. Welcome on in. We're very happy to have y'all. Make sure to let us know what fan of a team you are and to join the Discord. Exclamation point Discord in the chat. Okay, this is a great question. Dr. Allstate came into the Twitch and immediately is getting his message read. He said, why is Kobe getting more seeing Kobe talk about why is Kobe getting more time than Nick Smith Jr.? How do you feel about that? I don't like it. JJ Redick is confusing me. JJ Redick is he's really confusing me right now. I'm seeing players play too much. I'm seeing players not play enough. I feel for JJ Redick because he's getting the treatment that you get when you coach LeBron James. And it's basically you do your thing, I'll do my thing. JJ Redick came out and even admitted it a couple weeks ago. He said, I can try coaching LeBron, but at the end of the day, he's going to do what he wants to do. You know what I mean? And that's the way it's going. You're a Lakers fan, be sure to join the Discord, my boy. Huncho, he said, let's go Celtics. We got another Beantown boy. Huncho, join the Discord, my boy. The kid Cam, Huncho, and East Guy. Thank you guys so much for all the follows on Twitch. Mello, you as well. Be sure to join the Discord as well, guys. We'd love to have y'all in there. I appreciate all of you legends for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. We actually need Thunder fans, so be sure to join the Discord. I appreciate y'all a lot. I appreciate y'all a lot. If you guys are not getting your comments read on the TikTok, be sure to swing on into the Twitch. Actually, Dinger, we will be talking about that later today as I'm a Pistons fan. We will be talking about the Suns and Pistons later today. I already talked about it a little bit before the podcast started, but you're in the right place. Clipper fan. Okay, yeah, you need to join the Discord. We need Clipper fans in there. We don't have any. So join that. We got Clippers, Niners, the kid Cam, Dinger, Andu, and Sean right now, all leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. Yeah, we got some Beantown boys. We got some Detroit fans apparently in the TikTok. You got to get your ass over to the Twitch. All right. I appreciate all you guys very, very much for joining the Twitch stream. Welcome on in, y'all. Be sure to join the Discord. That's where we all live chat. That's where we all live chat. That's where we all talk. Like literally during all the basketball games every night, we're in there talking about every single game. Last night, I was panicking about my Pistons. Last night, my Heat fans were all having a meltdown. So be sure to join the Discord up. We all comfort each other when things are going bad. Well, we're talking about them next, Sean. We're actually moving on to them right now. As a Lakers fan, we've been playing terrible. I appreciate you for admitting that. Dear Sophia, you got to come to the Twitch stream and then join the Discord from the Twitch, okay? I'm not discrediting Luka Doncic whatsoever as far as his basketball ability. Believe me, without Luka, where would they be? But at the same time, Luka, as a leader, if you're out there complaining, if you're out there whining, if you're out there screaming, if you're out there not getting back on defense, as the captain of the team, nobody will play defense. Nobody will stop complaining to the referees. Everybody's going to do it. So that's the way she's going right now, man. That's the way she's going. Sometimes she goes, sometimes she doesn't. Luka Doncic right now is not playing winning basketball. As a leader of your team, he's not doing it. Chief, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. Link in my bio, Jay-Z Uncut. We'd love to have you a part of the community, all right? Now, guys, be sure to join the Discord, of course, because that's the place that you need to be. Now, let's move on to our next loser of the week, guys. I've talked about the Lakers more than enough that my head can handle. Love what the Hornets did last night, man. Watching LaMelo Ball go crazy like that. I think he had like 20-some points in the second half. I think just in the third quarter alone, he had 15 points. He was cooking DeAndre Ayton on the perimeter. He was playing incredibly well. So shout out to LaMelo Ball. I wish the Hornets can stay healthy. I wish they can. Absolutely. Luka needs to be surrounded by defenders and three-point shooters. That's a proven algorithm. It's a proven stat. It's proven. Okay. Dr. Allstate said LeBron James is my favorite player of all time. Had no choice of being 04, going to be honest. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. It might be. All right, TikTok. Now's the time to swing on into the Twitch. The link is in my bio. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Guys, let's move on. And remember, guys, if you do watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription out of my own pocket so you no longer get ads here. All right, let's move on. My next loser of the week, I think you guys already guessed it, is the New York Knicks. The Knicks, remember, I'm bringing one important stat to each of these losers. The Lakers lost 4 out of their last 5. The Knicks have lost 7 out of their last 9. So I want you guys to understand, when I talk about teams, it's not to over-exaggerate from one night. It's not. It's to talk about trends that I've been noticing as a basketball fan. I told Anthony, I told Based, I told all my Knicks fans that I have in the Discord. Told them all. Do not win that cup. Do not win that cup. Do not win that cup. And I was joking. I wasn't being serious. The cup isn't cursed. Or so I thought. Da-da-da. No, we actually have some very important things to talk about. Last night, they were missing Jalen Brunson and Mitchell Robinson, okay? That's no excuse to lose to the 90-year-old average age of the Golden State Warriors. I'm sorry, guys, but I got to be honest with everybody. I was comforting the Knicks fans this morning about losing that game. I was telling them, to be fair, you guys were missing Mitchell Robinson. You guys were missing Jalen Brunson. That's no excuse. I'm sorry. That's genuinely no excuse. That's no excuse. The Pistons have rotated more starting lineups than the Cavaliers this year. The Pistons have been missing so many players all year long. The Pistons were 11-1 without Tobias Harris. They were 3-0 without Cade until they lost. If you're missing 2 players, 1 player really, because Mitchell Robinson does not play back-to-backs. You're missing Brunson. Missing Brunson should not destroy your team chemistry like this. Now, I want to talk about this in particular, okay? I need to talk about this in particular. The Knicks are up 17. It's 17 or 18 in the first quarter. 17. And they were not playing defense. The Warriors were not playing defense. And you know what's crazy? The Warriors were not playing defense. And yet the Knicks were scoring. The Knicks were putting the ball in the basket, okay? But then the Warriors actually started to try on defense. And then all of a sudden, just a lead evaporated. I think that lead was disappeared within 4 minutes. Not exaggerating. One player I want to talk about in particular is Deuce McBride. I know he's a role player, but I do have to mention him. He started off the season in the first, I believe, month and a half, shooting straight up 50% from 3. Like, this dude was shooting above 50%. I think he was like 40 from like 70 at one point. All of a sudden, in the last 2 weeks, during this stretch of losing, 7 out of the last 9 games. Damn. He's shooting very low percentage. And you can go ahead and look it up. Deuce McBride, last 10 games. Oh, it's Miles McBride. Fuck, I forgot his real name. His percentages. Oh, actually, he's still shooting 42% in his last 10 games. Let me look at the last 5 games. Because the last few have been horrendous, I think. I know I'm not seeing things. Well, I guess 35% is very different from 53%. So I guess that is a significant drop. That's 20% dropped. So I want to talk about this team right now, okay? And it all starts with one man and one man only, ladies and gentlemen. Are you guys ready? This is why I get along with Knicks fans. Even though the Pistons and Knicks are supposed to hate each other, this is why I get along with Knicks fans, because we all know the core root of this problem, right? We all understand this, right? There's no heart, man. There's no heart. There's no heart. Not Josh Hart. There's no heart out of this cat right here. Carl. I'm not calling him his full name anymore. Carl. Ladies and gents, people tell me I'm exaggerating because they look at the box score and nothing else. They don't look at any of the stats. They don't look at any of that. Because if you were to look at his stats, you say, bro, Karl-Anthony Towns averaging 21 points and 11 and a half rebounds. Cat's a beast. No, he's not. He is shooting his worst field goal percentage in his career. Guys, he's shooting 46% from the field right now. That is his lowest ever in his whole career. Carl, you're shooting your worst field goal percentage in your entire career. Not just that, you are shooting your worst three-point percentage since your rookie year. Chat, 2015. Bro, I was in high school. This guy hasn't shot this poorly from 3 since I was in high school. Bro, what was I doing? What was I doing back in 2015? 2015, I had prom. No, 2016. 2016 was the greatest summer of my life. And while I was having the greatest summer of my life, I was talking about Karl-Anthony Towns on the Minnesota Timberwolves is about to be a beast. And now, as a 27-year-old man, I'm thinking this dude is 30. What the fuck is happening? He should be in his prime right now. And yet Carl lost his last 2 names. It ain't no Anthony Towns. This is Carl. You know what might be worse? Karl-Anthony. I don't know what the picks are tonight, Murph. I appreciate the follow on Twitch. Pound, Nurse, Lukey, Clavis, RJ, Deuce, everyone that's enjoying the stream in the TikTok, I assure you, you would enjoy it so much more in the Twitch stream, guys. So be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. The link is in my bio, Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. I want to give a special shout out to Dear Sophia for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. Sophia, Huncho, everybody, be sure to do ! Discord in the chat and click that Discord link and join up. That Discord server is where everything is popping. Remember, do not bully anybody's team unless you know them like that. Hendrix, come through to the Twitch stream. We'd love to have you. Watching Carl play basketball lately has been atrocious, man. He gets contact, he's screaming. He gets contact, he's throwing his arms up. He gets contact, and he doesn't care anymore, guys. Here's my thing about Carl, okay? And this is the biggest thing. This is ignore all the stats. Ignore everything, chat. Ignore everything. Let's forget about what you know about Carl, okay? What's the worst thing about Carl right now? After all that, what's the worst thing about Carl right now? Knicks fans, you guys know best. What is the absolute worst thing about Carl right now in this year of 2026? I'm very curious to see if you guys agree with me. Because I know my hoops, I know my ball, I know about every single team in the NBA. What's the worst thing about Cat? No, not that he's zesty. He's soft. That's close. He's being a big puh. That's close. That's close. That's close. Effort. Thank you, Anthony. My Knicks fan opens his mouth and he gets it right. Effort. It all comes down to effort. Effort. It's not lack of defense. It's lack of effort on defense. It's not lack of offense. It's lack of effort on offense. It's not lack of energy. It's lack of effort. And until he tries and until he wakes up, I'll admit, in the first quarter of this game, not even in the first quarter, bro. Who am I kidding? Knicks fans, it was in the first 6 minutes of this game. I was like, oh yeah. Mike Brown's words got to him. Oh yeah, here we go. Like he's going to do it. And then that lasted 6 minutes. He's making $55 million a year. Bro, $55 million? Ladies and gentlemen, I would be throwing my entire body you know those clips of Dennis Rodman diving for loose balls that he had no business diving for? Bro, I would lose a limb on that court. $55 million? And you're putting that lack of effort? I think we're all starting to understand something. And I love this comment from AJ in the TikTok. I wish AJ would come through to the Twitch stream. Something that the New York Knicks fumbled on, ladies and gentlemen, was not trading Julius Randle. It was who they traded Julius Randle for. They thought Karl-Anthony Towns' defense was better than what it was. They thought it was. You know why? Because he was hiding arguably the greatest defender of our generation in Rudy Gobert. His defense actually looked pretty decent because he was next to Rudy Gobert, but you ignored all the little things, guys. You ignored all the little things, those stupid fouls that he picks up on offense, those dumbass offensive fouls that he does that hook on to pass his defender, the dumb arm grabbing after he misses an easy layup, all the dumb things. You ignored that. And by doing so, by ignoring all of my apologies. By ignoring all of Karl's nuances, you traded for a player that is not good enough for the role that he was given. Do I think the New York Knicks can turn it around? Absolutely. Absolutely. I see them turning it around. Do I see them winning a championship with Karl-Anthony Towns as their number 2? Fuck no. You guys know my opinion on that. I said at the beginning of this year, so long as you have Karl-Anthony Towns as a number 2, you're not winning. You're not winning. Don't do anything drastic, New York. See what you got. Go through the playoffs. Make a marginal move, if anything. And go for Giannis in the offseason. He's yours. He wants to go to New York. He's yours. Don't do anything drastic. Unfortunately, you're wasting yet another year for Jalen Brunson. OG Anunoby is only going to get worse. This is what you guys need to understand. OG Anunoby is only going to get worse. Mikal Bridges is only going to get worse. That's what happens with defensive prowess players. Like that is what happens. So unfortunately, you're going to have to let go of multiple players and whatever other future that you have for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let me take a quick break and say thank you to a few people that left the TikTok stream and came through to the Twitch stream. Murph, Dear Sophia, Flash Different, and King Hendricks. Shout out to all you legends for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. I appreciate y'all very much. Holler at me. Let me know what fan you are of what team. And be sure to join the Discord. The link is the link is right there in the chat. Exclamation point Discord. The link is right there. And TikTok now is the perfect time to leave that stream and come through to the Twitch stream. We'd love to have y'all, man. We would love to have y'all. And most importantly, the Discord, guys. This is the place that you want to be. These messages are all sent during the games. Look, you see how much I just scrolled? We're only at 10 p.m. last night. Literally every single night, there are over 1,000 messages sent because my viewers are all watching games live together. So the fact that I've only seen Huncho and Silent Killer join the Discord in this time that I'm talking about it, you guys need to join the Discord. What are y'all doing, man? Join the Discord. No way just Huncho and Silent Killer join the Discord. I need all of y'all to join the Discord. All right? Exclamation point Discord in the chat. Join up. Let's move on from the New York Knicks. Let's move on. He absolutely did. Yeah, Anthony Black had a great dunk last night. Let's move on to my final loser of the week. The Houston Rockets. I was watching one of my Rockets fans in the Discord vomit yesterday. The Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets. I remember I said I have a stat for all the 3 losers that we're talking about today. Lakers lose 4 out of their last 5. Knicks lose 7 out of their last 9. The Rockets lose 5 out of their last 7. 5 out of the last 7. Shout out to Allstate for joining the Discord. Be sure to go to the Rolls channel and react to the roll of your team that you support so that you get the color of your team. So, like, for example, I reacted to the Pistons one, so my team is the Pistons color. See, look, only 3 of you guys have joined the Discord. I need way more of you guys joining that Discord, bro. No way. The Houston Rockets are my last loser of the week, and technically they're my last loser of the last 2 weeks. The Houston Rockets lost by 20 against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and that's okay. That's not my issue. They did beat the Bulls, the Cardiac Bulls. They lost against the Sacramento Kings. They lost against Portland twice. They beat Phoenix by 3, and then they lost to the Dallas Mavericks. Losing Fred VanVleet meant a lot to this team. It meant a lot. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that that injury is nothing and that, you know, everything would have, you know, that he would have fixed everything, but he would have fixed a lot of things. He would have fixed shooting in particular. Fred VanVleet was a prolific three-point shooter last year. In fact, he was their best three-point shooter last year. I just got to confirm this to make sure before I'm spewing nonsense. But Fred VanVleet last season was shooting 35% from deep on how many attempts? 8 attempts. That ain't bad. But that's all they really had last year, aside from Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks and stuff. So, let's talk about the Houston Rockets and what I think is very wrong with this team. They can't shoot. They're like, honestly, they're right there with the Pistons as far as not being able to shoot. Okay? They can't shoot. They can't create buckets. And my biggest thing is, out of all of these teams we've talked about, the New York Knicks, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Houston Rockets, they all fail a very important metric as far as professional sports go. Do you guys know what it is I'm referring to? Does anybody not know what I'm referring to? It's not something that shows up in a stat sheet. It's not something that pops up on a box score. But all 3 of those teams fail at a very specific metric that can't be measured unless you're watching the game. So my box score watchers, y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Hustle, defense, no. Confidence, no. That's why you guys need to come through to the Twitch stream, y'all. It's not effort. No, it's not effort. It could be effort for individual players and teams, yes, but I'm talking about all 3 teams. They all fail a metric that doesn't show up. You know what? I'll tell y'all because it seems like you guys aren't getting it. It's the eye test. It's the eye test. The eye test. The Lakers fail the eye test. And the metrics. The Knicks fail the eye test, but have the metrics. Other than one stat that I forgot to mention, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention this. The New York Knicks have the worst defensive rating since Christmas. Sorry, Knicks fans. I just remembered that stat. My apologies. I just remembered that stat, so that's on me. I should have said that before. My apologies. I should have said that. That was a very important statistic that I should have said. They have the worst defense rating since Christmas. I'm talking the worst since Christmas. And the Houston Rockets, they fail the eye test. All 3 of these teams, ladies and gentlemen, fail the eye test. And that's very important for the NBA because something about the Lakers, it's obvious why they fail the eye test. No defense. They're whining. The Knicks, they're just not playing any defense. They're the worst defensive rating since Christmas. And then the Rockets, they also fail the eye test. Why? It's because they don't have a playmaker. Sure, yes, that works. Because they don't have shooting. We knew they weren't going to have shooting. We knew that. Even with Fred VanVleet, we all said before this year started that they don't have enough shooting. Even if they had Fred, they didn't have enough shooting. Now, what else is so wrong with the Rockets that makes it blatantly obvious? It's quite simple. They play my turn, your turn basketball. It's Kevin Durant's turn. It's Şengün's turn. It's a men's turn. It's Kevin Durant's turn. It's Şengün's turn. It's a men's turn. And that's what happens all game. That's what happens. They're also in the bottom 5 in assist ratio per bucket. So they're not setting each other up for buckets. So on top of all of that, they're playing your turn, my turn basketball, but they're also not sharing the ball. Even though they're playing my turn, your turn, they're not sharing the basketball. Now, I wouldn't worry too much for a team like this, okay? I wouldn't worry too much for a team like this because they just need a playmaker. They just need a Dennis Schroeder. They just need a Karis LeVert. Please, take him. I don't fucking want him anymore. He's horrible. I never wanted him. Ray, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you very, very much. Let me know what team you support and be sure to join the Discord. I need all of you guys to join that Discord server, okay? And that's the issue with the Houston Rockets. That's their main issue. And yes, that does help. It doesn't help that the Thunder have incredible defense, but it also doesn't help that this team doesn't play like a team. They do not play like a team. They need a Trey Jones. They need something to move that ball around, to move that rock around, and to also add shooting. Also, another not so fun stat for my Knicks fans. Sorry, I keep forgetting the fun stats that I prepared myself to talk about for the Knicks. The Knicks are closer to the play-in than they are to the first seed. Sorry, Knicks fans. You guys are closer to the play-in than you are to my Pistons. Whew. I'm sorry. If you don't believe me, they are 5 games behind Detroit. They're 2.5 from the play-in, the Cavaliers. My apologies. I don't mean to do this. But yeah, I had a feeling people didn't know that. So I just had to share that. Sorry, I don't mean to do that to my Knicks fans. My apologies. I'm sorry. The Knicks are closer to the Hornets than the Pistons. No, that's cap. Stop it. So that's all I got to say on the losers. That's all I have to say on the losers. I'm genuinely sorry. I only have a couple losers or a couple winners. I don't even really want to talk about the winners because they're not like that significant. I've talked about them so much throughout the week. The Nuggets, what can I say that I haven't talked about already for them? This is found money for them. Payne Watson, Jamal Murray, obviously. This is found money. They're playing out of their minds. They're beating teams that they should beat without Jokic, and they're doing it. Great teams win these games, okay? So all I got to say is straight up, Denver Nuggets, you're my winner of the week. They're playing unbelievable. Peyton Watson, they're not going to be able to afford him. They're going to have to go into the second apron if they can't move Aaron Gordon or Christian Brown. They're going to lose Peyton Watson. Peyton Watson's going to join a team, and they're going to be a championship contender immediately. They got to do whatever they can in their power to maintain Peyton Watson. They lose him, they lose their future because he's straight up that good. It's not a fluke. It's not a hot streak. He is that good. Okay, so I'm sorry. I don't really have a whole lot to say on my winners. The podcasts have been very long this week. They've been dragging over an hour every day, and I can't do it. Okay? And then there are a couple just minor winners, right? The Minnesota Timberwolves as well. I want to give them a special shout out. They are clicking. They're the hottest team since Thanksgiving, I believe. The Timberwolves are climbing up and up and up and up and up, and I'm here for it. I love what they're doing. They had a bad loss against the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then they followed it up with a huge win against San Antonio, and then a ginormous domination game from against the Milwaukee Bucks. I gotta show some love to my Timberwolves fans. Shout out Mike. I really do appreciate their sort of basketball. And you know what? You guys will always have, always have a fan. I was about to say in Detroit, but I guess in North Carolina of the Timberwolves. I will always root for you guys, always. Except when, we're playing against each other, obviously. But I just love the Minnesota Timberwolves. I love Rudy Gobert. Contrary to belief, I know everybody likes to think it's fun to hate on Rudy Gobert, but I'm not one of those people. I always compliment him as much as I can. Now, as far as a couple minor winners, I'd like to give a few minor winners to a couple guys out there and a couple teams in particular. I want to give a special shout out to the Orlando Magic because believe it or not, with last night's win, they're the hottest team in the East in Berlin. I know you guys are probably thinking, hottest team in the East? Did we miss something? Did we miss something about the Magic? They're the hottest team in the East. They've won 2 games in a row. That makes them the hottest team in the East. So, with all due respect, I got to give credit where credit is due. This dunk was absolutely disgusting. Anthony Black dunking on the entire Memphis Grizzlies squad. Now, Memphis is missing a lot of players. They're going to be playing them in London, I believe. Josh, you should go to that game. You get to see Ja Morant in person sit on the bench. I know that would be an experience to see. Yeah, I got to give a minor shout out to the Orlando Magic. They've won 2 straight, and I'm very happy for my one Magic fan in Mark. Shout out Mark. Couple other like loser honorable mentions. I would like to give a loser honorable mention to the Miami Heat. Y'all fucking suck, respectfully. I know I'm very polite when I talk about most teams, so that probably caught a few of you guys off guard. When I said that, I'm sorry, but Miami Heat, you guys are horrible. Yeah, ship them to Iraq, bro, because they are not playing good basketball. They have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've lost 5 out of their last 7 games as well. Listen, Heat fans, let me stop joking for a second. You guys need to do something about Eric Spoelstra. You got to come to the Twitch, Raphael. You guys got to do something about Eric Spoelstra. This ain't working. And they'll never fire him. They choked a 19-point lead to the Boston Celtics last night. They allowed Anthony Simons to go for 39 points. Jaylen Brown's going to get you his 27, But you allowed Anthony Simons to go off for 39. Why is Simone Fenpupio getting 17 minutes in a game, but Khalil Ware is getting 9? I'm saying this out of anger for my Heat fans, okay? I'll admit that I was out of pocket saying that the Miami Heat suck. This was mostly anger because I root for the Miami Heat. I root for them to be good. I root for them to play well. I root for their success. But what the fuck is going on with Eric Spoelstra this year? I'm being told by one Heat fan in particular saying Spo is one of the best coaches of the generation. Is he? Because this isn't working right now. And they have a good roster. This is not one of the best coaches of the generation. This seems like a coach refusing to let go of the past. This roster is not ass. What I don't understand is the lack of pick and rolls when pick and rolls are the most basic mechanic in all of basketball. Something is just not making sense right now. Why Khalil Ware is getting 9 minutes a game, but Simone Fenpupio is getting 17. I'm not going to sit here and argue with Heat fans. There is a reason you guys are obtaining these leads, and there is a reason why you guys are losing these leads. Okay? I myself love the Miami Heat. I've always been a fan from afar. And seeing their roster go down this road, seeing them stuck in mediocrity hurts my soul. Genuinely. It hurts my soul. I'll admit, the roster's not the best. But you have options here that you're just not utilizing, okay? I went into this year assuming that the Miami Heat could be the 8th to 6th seed. And right now they're proving me correct. They are the 8th seed, and they're going to be hovering around this play-in spot for all year long. My issue is that you have options, utilize them. You have options, try them out. Again, I would like to apologize if I upset any Heat fans out there. This is more so anger from my own heart. I think Newsom, my Miami Heat fan, said it best. That last finals run ruined this team. It ruined this team. Because they believe that Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, all these players can continue doing it for years on end. I think that last finals run ruined the future of this team. Now, I do also have to mention, when they trade for Ja Morant, guys, when it happens, the second half of the season is going to feel like a dream for Miami Heat fans. They are going to be hype off their ass. Ja Morant suddenly is going to start throwing posters down again. Ja Morant is suddenly going to start looking athletic again. His shot's not going to magically get better because he's a career horrible shooter, but he's going to have a little pep in his step for the rest of the season. You guys are going to make the playoffs. You guys are going to win one game. And then the next, is it 3 years that Ja Morant is signed for? Is it 2 or 3 years? For the next 2 to 3 years, you guys are going to be praying to God to fix your team because you are stuck with Ja Morant. It's going to be a fun second half of the year. But for the next couple of years while you have him, it is going to be a sad and miserable experience. I wouldn't wish Ja Morant on my worst enemy. And then my final winner of the week would be the Pistons. They haven't played in 5 days. And then they played against the Phoenix Suns. And that was the ugliest game. That was the ugliest game I've ever seen. There were 8 official reviews. 8 of them. The game was 3 hours long, ladies and gentlemen. The game started at 7. It didn't end until 10. Cade Cunningham had Cade Cunningham had the worst game of his career. And you know what's crazy? If this game would have happened last year, Pistons are losing by 30. So something I love to see is the development of this basketball team. Even with Karis LeVert, 16. Oh my God, that's pissing me off. Just reading his name is pissing me off. Just reading that man's name is pissing me off. Karis LeVert needs to never touch the floor ever again. Dennis Jenkins needs to take all his minutes. There's no reason when you look at this. Karis LeVert is a -8 in 16 minutes. Dennis Jenkins had 6 minutes, led the comeback. +7, led the comeback. He had 3 assists, 5 points, 1 steal, 1 block, all in 6 minutes. And yet he didn't play a minute. He didn't play a second in the second half. So this is one of those games where I say that if this was last year, the Pistons would have lost. So the Suns missing Devin Booker definitely sucked, but the Pistons got it done. It was a gritty, it was a nasty, ugly game all throughout. The Pistons were down 17. Grayson Allen took 20 3-pointers. I repeat, Grayson Allen took 20 3-pointers. The Suns made 17 threes to the Pistons 9. It's quite obvious what the Pistons need. Get rid of Karis LeVert. Get us shooters. You have Dennis Jenkins to run the second unit. You have Marcus Sasser to run the second unit. Get the team shooters. Because there's no reason that 9 threes is what we're getting. Incredible game from Duncan Robinson. Incredible game from Jalen Duren. Incredible game from Tobias Harris. Listen, it was Cade's first game in 2 weeks, and he had a wrap on his wrist. So his wrist is fucked. We'll see. Hopefully his wrist is okay. But he had tape on his shooting hand. It was his first game in 2 weeks. Jalen Duren, that was his first game in almost 3 weeks. He had 16 points, 18 rebounds, plus 23 on the floor. Tobias Harris, first game in 3 weeks. 16 points. He did the too little celebration. He did the too little celebration on Dylan Brooks. And I got to admit, watching Grayson Allen and Dylan Brooks play basketball makes me want to gouge my eyes out because it's literally Luka Doncic 2 times. Every single time they initiate contact, they flail their arms and cry to the refs. I don't know how many techs happened this game. I don't know how many flagrant fouls happened this game, but whatever it was way too many. Dylan Brooks is one of those players that I always say every team hates when you're up against them, but would love if he was yours. He's one of those players. Shout out Jaden Ivey. He was really good until he started to put the ball on the floor. Literally, he was really good until he started to dribble. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to send you guys off into the weekend. So podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. TikTok, now's your last chance to come through to the Twitch stream. The link is in my bio, Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. We do this Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Be sure, TikTok, to swing it right into the Twitch right now while you still can. Same with you, YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you have a blessed weekend. Hope everybody stays safe. Hope everybody has fun. And I hope your basketball teams win. Ladies and gentlemen, I got nothing left to say. Be sure to Twitch, stick around. I got nothing left to say except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And everybody, thank you for watching / listening. I'll see y'all Monday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. Podcast begins at 9.